New Zealand New Zealanded the hell out of the game against Canada. To be fair, Canada fought reasonably well in places. Granted, it took this kind of hilarious knock on, but Mary, I'm really good at rugby, running and making breaks, just I think scored the twice. You know, and it also apparently runs in the family. But Canada became only the third team since the 2015 World Cup to keep New Zealand scoreless in the final quarter, the final 20 minutes, and they held them to just 4 tries until half time, which genuinely, I don't mean to be patronising, is something Canada should be proud of, because they have been shit lately, and New Zealand are the best team in the world. And then Kingsley Jones came in, had a word, and suddenly everything went to pot. Canada probably scored more points than they deserve, but a word for Jeff Hassler, who worked incredibly hard the entire time, and to Peter Nelson, who almost threw the entire rugby world into complete disarray by actually beating Beauden Barrett and going all the way. Imagine it! Imagine! This is a world we almost lived in. This is Peter bloody Nelson we're talking about. A man about as flash as his name suggests. What a world we almost lived in, where Peter Nelson, for just a shining golden moment, was better than Beauden Barrett. And as for the All Blacks, yeah, they look good. The sweatbox conditions in Oita seemed rancid, which is making me really excited about visiting there next week. And that had a big effect on the handling error count, but you've only got to look at the few passes they did make that did stick to know this wasn't really a struggle at all. The All Blacks were quite a few gears from where they can be and where they probably will be come the quarters, so it's hard and slightly pointless to read much into this game now, except for the fact that Beauden Barrett is rubbish and Peter Nelson should be World Player of the Year. I then got very, very wet watching Georgia play Fiji at a game the weather in Japan up until now had not prepared me for. Hanazono was lovely, the whole area seemed really excited about hosting an actual Rugby World Cup match, and the drenching should have suited Georgia, but for some reason they started trying to play Fijian rugby before Fiji had. It was great to see players as skillful as Mashashvili and Gogadze finally get a chance to strut their stuff for Georgia, but the Georgians just approached this wrong. That said, there was an enormous novelty in this passage of play, where Fiji mashed the scrum, got the opposition going backwards, before Georgia pulled a spectacular backs move against the run of play, offloading, running, everything, in exactly an inverse of what I paid money to come and see, and I loved it. In the end though, Fiji just came through. I've broken down before how John McKee has built a structure that allows Fiji to play loose rugby, but one addition here was the way they brought Semi Radradra into the game. When they first named their most dangerous player on the wing instead of his natural position of centre, I thought it was a waste, but actually this was the ploy. A 13 is tied into a particular position. If the ball isn't coming out to that particular wing at that moment, 11 and 14 are basically free to roam to pop up wherever, and boy did Radradra do that. It was a tactical decision to get him more involved in the game by having him less involved in the game. He just turned up and just sprang around the pitch, smacking geezers off. Another side known for smacking geezers are Samoa, who got themselves smacked by Scotland. Honestly, Samoa were underwhelming and often played with such a lack of intelligence you'd think their entire team had been on the receiving end of a few of their tackles. I mean, look at this from Tim Nanai Williams. Just because you're the star player doesn't mean taking on the box kicking is anything other than outright stupid. Nanai Williams has generally been pretty disappointing this World Cup, aside from some clashy touches against Russia, but nothing will top him getting bumped off by his Claremont teammate, Greg Laidlaw. I'd have thought Laidlaw couldn't bounce the ball, never mind a literal Samoan, but here we are, Big Greg scoring his first try in 4 years, despite trying not to. Scotland clicked a little more than in the game against Ireland, but it was still far from perfect. A fair few passes didn't stick, and a few players just weren't properly playing off the next, but it was far more like it. Stuart Hogg nailed this absolutely absurd drop goal, which I loved, and penalty try had a blinder, scoring twice, meaning he scored as many tries as all other Scotland players put together so far this World Cup. Things may not be looking particularly good for Scotland, but at least they're looking considerably better than they were a week earlier. Ireland similarly got the job done against Russia. They stuttered through the game a bit. This early try from Rob Kearney, who apparently is a try-scoring machine now, looked to have them on track, as did Peter O'Mahony living his dream by only having to run an inch with the ball to score and having the chance to do some shithousery along the way. However, things from there started to get slightly more frustrating for the lads who happened to be wearing the colour green, and part of this was down to the amount of fun Russia were having frustrating them. Gaziev was once again imperious, including this possibly the best technical body position turnover of the whole tournament. But I really enjoyed the performance of fly half Roman Geisen. Not content with just having a name that, when spoke properly, could really piss off Israel Folau, he continued to put himself in my good books by playing like, to steal my brother's parlance, a year 11 who just stole the year 7's ball. He'd boot it away into difficult positions, thumped the thing to absolutely nowhere. If there was a hedge on the pitch, you can guarantee he would have landed it in there, just giggled for half an hour as Joe Schmidt had to come on himself and help to fish it back out. Russia worked hard, and the nil scoreline didn't quite do them justice, and especially because so much of Ireland not scoring more points was down to just how annoying Geisen made himself to play against. Russia were, again, not to be patronising, but very good, and Vasily Artemiev earned his weekly burst of random clapping during his post-match interview.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching that video. I'm here with my boy Pac-Man. Pac-Man, what do you think of the video?
Waggle, 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 waggle.
Yeah, that's me and Packers here, having a great time here in the Tokyo. Thank you for watching that. I'll move on to whatever the next one will be now. There's loads of rugby being played here with this boy as well. What a boy, what a boy, what a boy. So many good boys here. More rugby's coming, thanks to all the Patreon people. There's loads of you popping all the time. This boy, especially to this boy, who apparently now supports me on Patreon, which I normally appreciate, and also star of the song that ITV used in their coverage in the build of the World Cup, this man. So, thank you very much for watching that. I'm going to walk away now, and hopefully rugby.